Well, let's talk about some of the stuff that you grew up listening to because you were sort of a child prodigy, as they like to say on the internet. Um, and I know it's very interesting to me. The thing that makes for me, the thing that makes you unique is that I can hear the Duane Allman influence, of course, and lots of blues. But at the same time, it's you guys. If you even if you just watch the Songlines DVD, you've got Coltrane from Africa Brass, you've got Donny Hathaway, you've got Stevie Wonder, you've got all sorts of stuff like that. Um, and of course, Ali Akbar Khan, you know, and is where did all this stuff come from? That's a very interesting, and of course, slide guitar in jazz is, besides, let's say, Herbie Mann's Push Push album with Duane Allman and maybe Tommy Bolin on Billy Cobham's Spectrum. That's not really something that you've heard a lot of, especially not in an acoustic format like you've done.
Yeah, it's one of the beauties of the slide guitars that hasn't really been done, well, not nearly as much as just the straight electric guitar. So there's a lot of room to roam. There's a lot of uncharted territory, and so that gives you a lot of leeway and a lot of space, and you can try things that maybe haven't been done. Where with the electric guitar, there's so many great players and so many great records that it's hard to really find new ground. It's still there. I mean, music is it's an evolving thing. But the slide is great that way, where you can take a John Coltrane tune and play it, and it hasn't been done that many times. So it stays fresh that way. But I've been fortunate to be around a lot of great musicians over the years, and been influenced by a lot of the things that influenced them. So I always made it a point when I was a lot younger to, whenever I was around a musician I'd admire, I would ask them what are the records that changed your life? What are the albums that you always go back to? And I would get some great recommendations. Ali Akbar Khan, John Coltrane, Wayne Shorter, Sun Ra, just things that I might not have stumbled on that early otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's now there's a quote on, and you have quotes on the insides of all of your albums, correct? I mean, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Yeah, and the if you don't mind indulging me, I'm going to read the Ali Akbar Khan quote from the latest album, if that's okay.
yeah,
On
yeah.
it.
Fire
Okay.
away.
Yeah. Music is like a river or stream that has come down to us through time, bringing nurture to man's soul. From the past masters, this music flowed to my father, and through him to me. I want to keep this stream flowing. I don't want it to die. It must spread all over the world. Now, this to me, there's always something that tends to allude to like a higher thing than just what most people associate with music. You've got the spirit in there and so on like that. And in the Songlines disc, there's a whole the Aborigine story that you sort of talk about in there is very heavy. You got somebody at the door.
Yeah.
You got somebody at the door. Okay, how we want to do this?
No, we're good.
Okay, cool. But I just wanted to talk about, what it is that because I think this is really, really special, and I think it's a picture of something that makes you incredibly unique, especially in this time period. And I want to talk about that and what it is that makes you want to put something like that in there. What it is that you know.
And I think it's important. So much of the music that has inspired me, you can tell that these guys, it wasn't a hobby to them. They were lifers, and they were trying to get a feeling or a message across. And a lot of the great music from the late '60s, early '70s, you could just feel this momentum behind it. And
Absolutely.
whether it's Curtis Mayfield or those great early Stevie Wonder records, or even a band like the Allman Brothers, or those great John Coltrane records, Hendrix. There's
Yeah.
you can just tell that there's more to the story than just the songs they're playing. And I think that kind of disappeared for a long time. And I think by putting quotes like that in the album, I think it just kind of it gives people a peek inside of what's behind the music, kind of what's the impulse, and the fact that the impulse is more than just getting your face out there, more than the petty fame and celebrity that I think drives a lot of the music industry now. So I think it's just, and it's also a nod to a lot of times the musicians that have inspired me or the band. You know, so you put a Sun Ra quote in there, you put an Ali Akbar Khan quote. You know, I think it's a great way to turn on some of the younger audiences to to some of the artists they might not have known otherwise.
Right, right. Just like the folks did for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I wanted to ask you. I've done several interviews on here on the show with some of my heroes from the late '60s and early '70s. You mentioned the late '60s, early '70s. I've talked to Michael Shreve from Santana and Mike Clark from Herbie Hancock and the Headhunters, and I've talked to him about the idea that the reason that the music was so much more creative was that the culture allowed it at that time. And the culture is not so allowing at this point. At least it hasn't been for a long time. Now I wonder. There's a big in the liner notes of the new album. You talk about there's things about the culture and political activism and so on like that. Now, do you agree with that? First off, that the culture was more allowing at that time, and do you think it's possible for that to come back around?
Yeah, I mean, everything happens in cycles, and just like the political winds, you feel the pendulum swing back and forth, and I think in some ways it's the same with culture and music. It's not all linear,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely there was a time period there where it not only allowed you to speak out, it almost expected you to. The musicians of the late '60s to the mid '70s. I think if you didn't have something to say, you were just going to get rolled over by
Right.
everyone else that did. So
Right. It demanded that you be creative and
it
yeah.
really did. I mean, there was so many great artists out there doing it that if you were going to be heard, you had to have something serious to say, and that certainly hasn't been the case the last decade or so. But hopefully it'll find its way. I mean, I think there's still artists that are doing it. It's just like you said, it's not as accepted, but that doesn't stop you from doing it.
Right, right. I do think, if you don't mind me saying so, I do think that you're a very high-profile artist that I kind of see in that role right now, despite what the culture might be. I've always found that your music seems to reflect that kind of ideology that I miss so much, that I don't see very much anymore.
Nice. I mean, we've been fortunate in the sense that we've been able to play the music we wanted to play, and we've never had to bend, and it's somehow worked out. I mean, it's been a slow grind, but it's always seems to be moving in the right direction. I mean, if it started 50 seat clubs, and then a few years later it's 150, and then it's 300, and now it's small theaters, and so it's been a build, and I think not having to rely on record sales or any outside help to keep the band touring is a huge reason that we can just keep doing what we want to do, keep playing the music we want to play, and not budge.
Yeah. Well, let's. I'd like to play your cover of the traditional song "Greensleeves" that John Coltrane did on Africa Brass back in 1961 from your Songlines DVD. We've got a CD copy of that here. And what do we need to know about that? If that's
just a great tune, a lot of fun playing those melodies, and and very much the Coltrane quartet style.
Right. All right, cool. Well, this is from the Songlines Live DVD. This is the Derek Trucks Band with Greensleeves on the Burnt Toast Show.